welcome everybody. Pretend you meditated. And snuggle in, and we're just going to start off with our Deliver Me and just breathing into the moment, getting here. Well, and you guys can snuggle in, and we can throw away chairs and do whatever we want and just have a good time today.
Juggalos in here. Oh, whoop, whoop.
I asked Mark, I said, you ever just have those mornings where you feel like everything is conspiring against you? But then I looked, and people are chatting, and we're laughing. Mark's unusually calm. What's up with that? And yeah, yeah. And it's yeah, so it's all good. Are we live streaming? We are? Hallelujah. Okay, cool. Hey out there, we're running a little late. We're a little crazy. Jump on in and be crazy with us. All right. Thank God there's nobody here for the first time today. you know? Woo! All right, so announcements. We have tonight, very, very important, and I think most of you all know about it, but tonight is Daylight, Brainchild, Heartchild, Forgiveness, A Path to Freedom. We have a crew of people coming. Reverend Mark will be here. Sue Bailey's coming. Ron Fox and Becky couldn't come, so Sue's coming. Yay! You don't get to hear her very often. Dana is here tonight. Fred Goodnight and his significant other, Ruthie, Elizabeth and Mike Stamper. So it's going to be awesome. They got some things planned. I think we're going to do a burning bowl. Is this true? Yeah, I love that. So show up tonight. It's the regular diversity night time, 6 o'clock, but instead of ending at 7:15, we're going to go till 8 o'clock. So it's a special night. Come on out. It's going to be really cool. Is Mel singing? Is that right? Oh, cool. All right. I didn't know that. So Mel will be here too. So next Sunday diversity night is drumming. Did you know that? No, there we go. We're drumming next Sunday night, yes. Okay. We have, actually, I've even got diversity nights scheduled into November. I just didn't write them down. So, yes, October is pretty much full, and we're starting on November, so that's awesome. People are coming to us saying, oh, I want to do a diversity night. So if people come to you and say that they want to do something here at the pod, if it's something that's applicable and that would work, send them to Sunday night, diversity night. I like to get people in the habit of coming here on Sunday night because we have lots of cool stuff. Now, the most important thing that I have, not that it's more important than tonight, but whatever. All right. Speed Healing is this coming Saturday. We are not nearly full. We have 36 spots that we can take people. I need you guys to we've got some flyers out there. I need you to hit people up. I sent out 49 Facebook Messenger messages last night. I sent one to you and said, here's the flyer. If you are interested in this, please sign up. It's pre-register. You got to pre-register, got to prepay because I don't want people not showing up. It's going to be really cool. We've done it before. It works. It's fun. When you leave here, you'll be happy because every single person last time that left here, when they left, they were just raving about it. So, actually, I sent you and Nancy one too. So, but the thing is, if you're going to do this, you need to take care of it as soon as possible. I can take Square today. You can write a check. You can give us cash. So PayPal, yeah, you can go on our website and do PayPal. We've got 11 providers coming. So there's a lot invested in this, and they're giving of their time. So I want to sell it out. Okay, I want to make it worth these people coming and sharing with us because most of them don't belong to the pod as part of our inner circle. So October 8th, there's 3 sessions, one at 10, one at 11:30, and one at 1. So if you can't come yourself, okay, but share. Yeah, get it on your Facebook, like the Facebook things, put flyers out someplace, whatever we need to do, because here's the worst thing. I'm not going to be here. I have to go to a work meeting next weekend, so I'm going to I'm the contact for people to pre-register, and I will be in a situation where I can take pre-registration, until we sell out. So just call me or text me, that's fine, or Facebook me, or email me, whatever. Just let's get this thing done. It's going to be cool. So, well, that's true. Actually, and I'll just call her out right now. Pat Sellers said, "Oh, I talked to her about it yesterday. And she said, "Oh, I'd really like to come, but I can't. So I'm just going to donate $35." Well, I had somebody else that said, "I'd like to come, but I can't afford it." So I said, "Okay, Pat, I'll take your $35, and I'm going to give it to this person here, and so that person can come." So if If you know somebody that's not coming because they can't afford it, that's a cool thing to do too. So, because that person was really excited about getting to come, really excited. All right, any more announcements? Yes, ma'am. Oh, thank you. This is from Roz. For those of you that were here for the Bob Sima concert, you're still vibrating. Okay, Roz sent this to Suzanne. She says, "Can you please let someone at the pod know that Bob Sima and Shannon Plummer have given me some codes for discounts for the We Are Boldly Going Nowhere retreat. If the pod folks have up to 3 people attend, they will give each person $50 off the cost. If up to 4 people attend, they'll take $75 off the cost. I can send them the codes or provide them to someone at the pod. I am interested. Kim Kozlowski is interested. Kathleen Long, Jerry. Jerry? That wouldn't be you. Is that you? No, it's another. Oh, Jerry. She spelled it wrong, so Jerry. You guys know Jerry. Nancy and Dee. We could get the discount. So if you're at all interested in that, talk to Suzanne. She's got the link to the flyer that has all the costs and all the room situations and that sort of stuff. So, man, if it wasn't like weekend after next, it would be so tempting. I would love to do that, but my October's crammed. So, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Near Helen, Georgia, and which is gorgeous there. Oh my God, the pictures he's been posting are just incredible. So, all right. That's right. Karen Bishop fundraiser here. There's supposed to be art, music, raffle, or not raffles, but silent auction sort of things. Raffling, right? That's Saturday the 15th, right? She's in remission now, right? Yeah, cancer free. So yeah, so that's awesome. But she's got like bills up to here and probably not much way to deal with them. So if you have time that day, just want to run by, hang out for a little while, and this starts at noon, I think. Whenever, right? Yeah. So anytime in that afternoon, if you got time to run by, that'd be awesome. Right. Good cause. So yeah, just bring it with you, and she'll put them out and sell them. Okay. All right. This is a new diversity night thing. This is cool. Not the cost, the proceeds. Yeah, we'll get more details out on about that as it gets closer. Yeah. Yeah, and the way that we can do this is the prizes are going to be Sizzle products, right? Because she's in Sizzle, which is awesome. The coffee's good and all the things. So those are the prizes. We're not giving away money so that we don't end up in trouble. We're not gambling. No, not Catholic. No. Right. Okay. Ooh. Okay, cool. All right. We don't have a country. The Philippines? Okay. All right.
And not only that, send my love into the mountains, and it returns to me, and it returns to me.
As we breathe in these wonderful words, sending our love, knowing it always returns to us, we remember that we do send it to the whole world. We may have those countries that we see each week and give a presence of mind for that particular country, like the Philippines, the Bahamas, and all the islands that are going through the storms. But it is the whole world. It's the whole world we send our love out to, and beyond that, it's the whole universe. Things that we may never have discovered and learned that are there that we still send love to, knowing that that love's going to come back and ripple to us just as much as we ripple it out. That's the goal. That's the key. It's the peace inside of us is simply the love. We come here to celebrate that with each other. And this morning we're a small, intimate group, so as we go up to make our tithing and giving whatever gift that you have to offer, knowing that, again, you always are the gift here, to look in your eyes, to take a little time. As a small group, we have plenty of time to stay with your eyes for a moment, and then when you're saying thank you to your brother and sister, just look in their eyes. Just even for a few seconds, just stay there. Don't run away so quickly this time. And think loving thank you thoughts. You may not have to say a word, and you can say whatever you want, but just stay with them, even if it's for a few seconds, and receive the most wonderful gift you can ever see. And that's the love that is shared between both of you. And so it is.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. in me.
The truth in me.
Sees the truth in you.
Sees the truth in you.
My spirit now
My spirit now
celebrates you.
celebrates you.
Namaste.
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 Ooh, namaste.
Ooh, namaste.
The love in me.
The love in me.
Sees the love in you.
Sees the love in you.
My soul on high
My soul on high
celebrates you.
celebrates you.
Namaste.
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 Ooh, namaste.
Ooh, namaste.
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 Ooh, namaste. One more time. Namaste. Ooh, namaste. Yay! All the colors of the rainbow, all the voices of the wind, every dream that reaches out to find where love begins, every word of every story, every star in every sky, every corner of creation lives to testify. For as long as I shall live, I'll testify to love. I'll be a witness in the silences when words are not enough. With every breath I take, I'll give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. From the mountains to the valley, from the rivers to the sea, every hand that reaches out, every hand that reaches out to offer peace, every simple act of mercy, every step to kingdom come, all the hope in every heart will speak what love has done. For as long as I shall live, I'll testify to love. I'll be a witness in the silences when words are not enough. With every breath I take, I'll give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I'll be God love. For as long as I shall live, I'll testify to love. I'll be a witness in the silences when words are not enough. With every breath I take, I'll give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. I'll be a witness in the silences when words are not enough. With every breath I take, I'll give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. I will testify to love. I will testify to love. Give yourselves a hand.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What a lovely morning. So how's everybody doing? Good, let's breathe. Let's take some nice deep breaths together and catch our breath, or just breathe and enjoy it. Make some sound on the way out. Let it resonate, feel it in your heart. Let it let go of any angst, or just feel good, whatever works for you. So deep breath in. Let's do that 2 more times. I invite us to breathe in deeper and exhale more. If it makes you cough, you cough. Deep breath in. And one more really nice deep breath. And when we breathe out, let's let go of all the strangeness of the morning and invite more in from the next breath. Because whatever. So deep breath in. So, it has been very coyote morning. Technical difficulties abound. My whole presentation was on the wall. So we're going to wing this and do it differently. But today is inspired by what we looked at in the announcements and what we're going to be doing tonight for Diversity Night with the path forgiveness as the path to freedom, which is part of a landmark project you were in, am I correct? That inspired Daylight, and then she brought this to us, and then asked that all the ministers around did also a Sunday morning talk on forgiveness. And I'm like, right on, we dig forgiveness. And it's true, because forgiveness is a path for all of us. It's an inward thing. For every instance of forgiveness and release that you can experience, it's like a cosmic galaxy of potential being birthed through you and through love. Yes, I will. Because that was some of the things that I was going to get very visual today for you. So now it's going to be all auditory. For every instance of forgiveness and release is like a cosmic galaxy of potential being birthed through you and through love. So is a cosmic galaxy of potential just through forgiving. And I've said kind of stuff like this before, because I don't mind being weird and showing people I'm weird, that I can kind of see energy sometimes, and that one of the neatest energy things I've seen between two people is when they make up. It's such a neat thing, and it doesn't happen all the time. It's only when I'm really in tune and really open and really out of my way. And it's a beautiful thing, and it makes me a big mush, and it brings tears of joy and love to me to see two people forgiving each other. And what a cosmic galaxy of potential gets created in that moment as the energy just beams throughout the universe and throughout our own personal universe, all through forgiveness. We really do have a stake in this forgiveness thing. But how do we move into this fifth age of love if we carry in that Aquarian age, which is that peace, love, wisdom? How do we move into that and still carry resentment with us, disdain, hate, anger? How do we allow ourselves to move forward into that place of peace if we're going to still carry this with us? Martin Luther King said this: we must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power of love. There's some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. Forgiveness is not an occasional act. It is an attitude. So it's an attitude. So what's the attitude of forgiveness? How do I have an attitude of forgiveness? Well, if you're familiar with when we did the season of nonviolence, and Carlos Barrios is a Mayan elder, and he was involved in all that. And this is what he had to say about the fifth age and how we're going to defeat the powers that are hurting this world with wars. He teaches this: it is not any fighting we can do to solve our problems. There are energies that feed off this human turmoil and keep us in the state of fear and violence. But by beaming and raising your beaming and raising your vibrations can we win? So beaming and raising your own vibrations for all the modalities that we're familiar with, and everybody's got different ones that work for them that help them beam and raise their vibration. So no one is wrong, because if it's beaming you, if you're beaming love, and you did it because you read Richard Bach, and this other one read someone else, Marianne Williamson, or someone else read from Jesus or Buddha, it doesn't matter. Whatever helps you beam and raise your vibration is seasoning you, is making you ripe. You create within you a fertile ground for the attitude of forgiveness. You build its strength with the other loving things you do. So I'm creating an avenue and an attitude of forgiveness. I'm creating fertile ground for me to be ripe to forgive when that situation comes up, because it hasn't come up yet. Right now I'm just working on the ground and the attitude. And that's in my daily living. That's in doing anything that can beam my light and raise my vibration. And this is what Carlos Barrios offered in his enlightenment. He's a Mayan elder, and this is what he offered in his wisdoms, how to keep that attitude of forgiveness ripe in your body. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is an attribute of the strong. Mohandas Gandhi. So that's back to, all right, we know in other exercises, other forms of our life, we have to exercise if we want to strengthen something. If we want to strengthen our physical body, we go walking, we lift weights, we do push-ups, sit-ups, whatever exercise that you want to do to strengthen that. The same thing happens with your mental capacity. We know that. You study and you take tests, and you study and take tests. You challenge yourself, you memorize, and then you challenge yourself. And you're exercising that mental muscle. How do you get strong when it comes to the forgiveness muscle? What am I working towards? What is the to-do for my brain? My brain wants a to-do. Go, forgive. And the brain's like, it needs a to-do also. So first, let's go to the definition of forgiveness. Part of the definitions. You can go to any dictionary anywhere, and they're going to go on and on and on. So there's a few of them. To grant pardon or remission of offense, debt, to absolve. To give up all claim on account of or against. To cease to feel resentment for or against. So that's just simple definitions, just 3 simple ones of forgiveness, and that helps our mind now of a to-do. I'm supposed to grant pardon and remiss their offense. I'm supposed to absolve the debt. It gives the brain something to do, because we have this heart that loves, but we have a brain that wants something to do. And that helps us with the to-do, so that we can keep that attitude of forgiveness when we understand within ourselves what's going on in our body in the forgiveness mechanism. We're releasing them from a debt. Forgiveness is letting go of all hopes of a better past. That's from Gerald J. Chapalski's Love is Letting Go of Fear. So we do get stuck in the past. We get stuck in the past all the time, because whatever it is that I need to forgive, it already happened. I can either let it go, or I can carry it with me. And, I think I've told you this story before, and I might not, it's the Reader's Digest Mark version, where 2 monks that, taking a vow of silence and chastity are walking along a path, and there's a helpless woman, and she needs help, and the one monk picks her up and carries her for half a mile, and then sets her down, and then continues walking, and the other monk is tripping out. He's like, you touched her, you touched the woman, you carried her. What do you do? I can't believe you did this. And he's tripping out about it. And every once in a while he keeps saying, I can't believe you carried that woman. You're not supposed to carry the woman. And the other monk, a mile later, finally says, I set her down a mile ago. You're still carrying her. And it's part of that story that we do when we set something down, when we let go of all hopes of that better past, and to know that whatever it is, it already happened. I have the choice to let it go, or I have the choice to pick it up and carry with me. And I'm human. This particular human over here has ridiculously chosen to carry a lot of crap with me that I'm like, what? Why don't you let it go? And there's sometimes and I don't know came up, because I know that it didn't serve me. I had that higher, or the wherewithal within myself to know that it was hurting me inside. But there's that part, that mechanism inside that wanted to let go. When is there not a good time to forgive? So think in your mind when there's not a good time to forgive. And our brain, if we're really honest with ourselves, can't really come up with an answer. Well, if they do this, then that's not a good. What's the line? Murder, rape, incest. I mean, those are the heavy-duty ones, right? What's the line of not? Where it's not a good time to forgive. Course in Miracles says this: forgiveness does not wait upon time, yet time awaits upon forgiveness. So when we're in a mode of needing to forgive, the moment that needs to be forgiven doesn't need to wait. Well, I need to wait. I need some time before I can forgive you. No, that's bullcrap. That's us. But time itself waits upon forgiveness. It waits upon that element of the human condition to finally reveal itself so that time doesn't have to be anymore. Time is here for us, not for forgiveness. Forgiveness is here for us, not for time. Course in Miracles talks about this a little bit. I'm talking about it from a place of we have all the time in the world, and time in itself is saying, I have all the me in the world. I am time. I have all of the me that I ever need in the existence of all that is for you to get it. And there's no rush because we have all the time in the world. So forgiveness itself doesn't need time, but time waits for it, because in that moment when we as a human race get it, then time doesn't have to be. The constraints of this 3D reality will change. We will evolve. We are evolving. We are moving on more and more and more and every day. And forgiveness is a tool to help us get there. That's all. This is not some universal cosmic love fest, even though at the very beginning, like I said, through forgiveness and release is a cosmic galley of potential. But it's not that the universe is waiting upon the loving act of forgiveness from you, you benevolent person, you. That's not what it's about. It's about a natural state of being. It's about this next level where I'm going now. Of when it's a good time to forgive. Of when we play the games with ourselves. When we want to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to hold on for this till next week. That should be enough time. Matter of fact, maybe a week and a half. The third Tuesday of next month, I will forgive you. That should be enough time for me to punish you. Right? Because what is that about? We're holding them there. Or who are we really punishing? We have an opportunity every day to forgive right now. So we're going to do a forgiveness prayer right now. And we're going to be reading this. So I didn't write it, so I'm going to remember it because it's very easy. And I invite you guys to breathe into these words and to repeat after me. I forgive my Father and all men who have consciously or unconsciously hurt me. I forgive my mother and all women who have consciously or unconsciously hurt me. I forgive myself for consciously or unconsciously hurting others. I forgive myself for consciously or unconsciously hurting myself. And then just breathe. So in that simple little couple moment prayer, didn't even take 2 minutes. Does anybody feel a shift in just the words and just the attention to the words, the intention? Did you feel anything? Did it feel good? Felt soft? Calm? It did, and it felt calming because again, I get the benefit, or any speaker that is sitting here and has a group retort something back. It's such a joy because it is an energy. It is rippling right at me, and it feels good. It really does, and it really is for us. But if you really want to get their goat, Isaac Friedman said, "Forgiveness is the sweetest revenge." We've heard that, kill him with kindness. I was coming back from Scott's house once, a long time ago, when I had hair, all the way down to here. And I was in my Camaro that I was genetically predisposed to own. And the T-tops were down, and it was about dusk, and I'm actually heading from his house back to my house in Cocoa. I'm on the beeline. And I had a headlight out and a license plate light out. And I have them, brand new ones, in a bag that I just bought that day and haven't installed them yet. And I get pulled over by cops. But their attitude right at the beginning was like very aggressive with me. And they made me get out of the car. I showed them my license. Nothing was on my license. I showed them, look, no, here's the thing with receipt. Just bought it a couple hours ago. I just got to get home and put it on. And I know it's about dusk, but, I'm sorry. Got my license. Nothing bad about Mark. Asked me to step out of the car. So I start stepping out, and he asked me why I was disguising myself. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, in the picture, you have long hair. And I'm like, and I lift my ball cap, my hair falls out. I'm like, I'm in a convertible. And they kept just egging me on. And then they started, can we search your car? And all this jazz. And I'm young, though, so that's who they pick on, the young punks with long hair. But I wasn't a punk. I was just a hippie. But on and on and on, and I'm mad. I'm feeling it. And I know I'm in a situation where they just itching to arrest me. And then they actually start saying words like, well, we can't take you in for that. And my brain is like, take me in? Why do you want to take me in anywhere? What did I do to you? So they kept saying things, and they come up with nothing because there was nothing to take me in for. But they wanted me to snap because then they'd have a reason to take me in. And I wanted revenge. I wanted revenge in that moment. I didn't know what to do, and I just wanted to, and all of a sudden I hear a voice in me that says, kill him with kindness, Mark. So I'm like, okay. And I turned into the biggest goober you've ever seen. I said, thank you, officer. And I put my hand out there, and I had the stupidest face you'd ever see, like Gomer Pyle, and stayed there in it until he got his flashlight and his other thing and had to move it to shake my hand, and then went to the other officer and did the same thing and walked away with a Gomer Pyle smile and left. Because because I could still feel energy, and they were so flustered that Gomer Pyle showed up instead. Kill him with kindness. And it keeps you right for that attitude of forgiveness. Because I had a chance in that moment to go either way. And in that moment, going the other way could have cost me my freedom, too. Because they were itching to arrest this young hippie in the Camaro. Kill him with kindness saved my butt from going to jail that day. And it threw them off completely. Another aspect of this is, what do we gain by forgiving and by being in that moment with them? And the moment I shifted to kill them with kindness, do you know what I got? Instantaneous peace. All that angst that I had went away, and I was actually giggling goofily, which was a peaceful moment. And that's one of the things Buddha says. Those who are free of resentful thoughts surely find peace. And we do when we let it go. So we can remain peaceful, or we can choose to pick it back up and not let it rest. Kim Hubbard said, nobody ever forgets where they bury the hatchet. And it's true. It's less about the forgetting because we have a great brain. I happen to have the Rain Man filing system, and if you've ever seen Rain Man, you'll know he would write down in his book, Tuesday the 27th, pulled and squeezed and hurt my neck. I have that within me, and it's documented of all those who have hurt and squeezed and pulled my neck. But there's a thing there. It's like we do have this wonderful brain that remembers. We do know where we buried the hatchet, and it's how many times you pull that file up. and how you're feeling when that file gets pulled up. Because you have an opportunity to go, hey, this is where I buried the hatchet with Bob 10 years ago when Bob did that thing he did to me that really hurt me and I got offended. Well, I'm so glad I forgave him. God, me and Bob have gotten along so well. He's been one of the best friends I've ever had. Or, Bob, I remember when he did that. May not have completely let it go. I may want to go punish Bob. And here's another thing from a young lady named Marlene Dietrich. Once a woman has forgiven a man, she must not reheat his sins for breakfast. And, and, we and that's that thing about, yes, we knew that deed was done. But when we bring it back up and serve them again over and over, we think we're punishing them with this guilt because we want the guilt bomb thrown on them, but we're really still punishing ourselves. And it keeps bringing us back to this place of self-punishment, even though we think it's about them. But it's really about this next part, because this is where all the work gets done. Ken Key's Handbook to Higher Consciousness. You add misery to the world just as much when you take offense as when you give it. This is back to the Carlos Barrios talk about feeding the negative energy. It's like with resentment and offense. We've all met at least one person like this in our life. If we forgive them, we feed them light. If we resent them, we feed them the poison that they've been living off of. So we all know someone like this in our life, somebody that just wants constant turmoil. They're a little nitpicker. They're a fire starter. They gossip between each other. That's the person that if we keep resenting, they get off on it. From wherever they're at here, no harm, no foul, no judgment, whatever healing needs to be done. But where they're at in that moment, it's like the two wolves. You feed the white wolf, you feed the dark wolf. It's been said in many different ways. So what are you going to feed that love? What are you going to feed that person, love or resentment? If you feed them love and keep killing them with kindness, they're going to fizzle out and maybe not heal their own dynamic because that's their journey, but they're going to fizzle out of your life with that stuff. And they'll go play that drama with somebody else that's working that issue for themselves. But you can clean that for yourself, and those kind of people in your life will filter away, and you didn't have to blast anybody or tell them off or anything. But it's that inside job part. It's that what we get out of it is understanding if I'm never even offended in the first place. So do you all remember this? Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And that's from the Lord's Prayer, right? When we did the Lord's Prayer talk. Now, also, in that same thing, we've also learned, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. So that's translations in there too. I did a Lord's Prayer talk where I translated into different languages, Aramaic and stuff. And this is one of the translations of that line was, forgive what we owe you as we forgive those who owe us anything. So let's go back to that definition of forgiveness. To absolve a debt. To be debt-free, you no longer owe that person, or can that person lay claim to what it was you originally were indebted for. The slate is clean. Think about it on the financial terms, to forgive a debt. They don't come back to you 10 years from then and go, oh, we changed our mind. You owe us that $100. The debt was forgiven. It's done. They may have records that says, yes, in 1995, Mark took out a loan with us, and he owed us $1,500. But by virtue of this, the deal we made, we forgave that debt because we had another deal going on with Mark. Whatever. You guys get the absolution, the absolution of that word. So when I'm forgiving this debt and the slate is clean, what does the and lead us not into the temptation but deliver us from evil part mean? Lead us not into the temptation of what? Being mean? Bringing it up again? Not forgiving? Getting offended in the first place. How noble of me to forgive you. When you go by one day and say, and I go, check out my new shirt, you like it? And you go, no, I don't. That's all you've said. No, I don't. You know how much money I spent on this shirt? I created this online and created this shirt myself. I'm offended. Sorry, man, I didn't mean to offend you. Okay, I will forgive you. Who's playing games with themselves in that moment? Because that person, well, I don't know why I'm pointing at Sky, because we were talking about it last night. But it's like, that's a false sense of being offended there. That's, there's nothing that person needs to be forgiven for. You're playing a game with yourself completely. And then thinking you're all noble and pious for forgiving them. That's not the kind of galaxy creating potential that forgiveness offers that we were talking about before. That's not the path to freedom that we were talking about before. The ownership of this, peace, freedom, evolution in our continued awakening state of being is what's in it for us. When we realize that forgiveness is just a tool for us to get into our own understanding that we create every single thing that happens to us by other people, absolutely. And if forgiveness is part of the tool that gets me to that understanding and that continued awakening, then groovy. But it's not, time doesn't wait upon forgiveness for that. It waits upon it so that we get that moment, that apocalypse, that revelation, to see who we really are with each other and with ourselves, to where forgiveness isn't even a word in the human language because it doesn't even have any meaning, because it doesn't even make logical sense anyway anymore. Like some languages don't have the word mine in them. It doesn't make sense to them. There's no logic in it. We're a community. It's us. It's ours. What do you mean forgiveness? Does not compute. What did you get offended by? What are you creating? What did you say to yourself in your head that you thought was coming from them? It's your greatest path to freedom, and it's still essential because we can want to be at that enlightened Zen moment now, and we can want all the way there, but we have to practice and do whatever modalities, and this is a modality. It's a tool. It's a path to freedom. It's a path to your inner freedom. It's a really simple concept. You may have heard this one before. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Do not to others what thou would not wish to be done to thyself. Forgive injuries, forgive the enemy. Be reconciled to him. Give him assistance. Invoke God in his behalf. You guys know who said that, right? Who do you think? Who do you think? Love thy neighbor as thyself. Right. A lot of people think Jesus said that. You know who said it? Confucius. But many masters taught what other masters taught. Either that, or even way back then, they had takeout Chinese with fortune cookies. And if you didn't like that last joke, you're just going to have to forgive me. Ahoma takoyaki.
Help, I'm a prisoner in a Chinese bakery. My fortune cookie said, help, I'm a prisoner in a Chinese bakery. The soles on these shoes are wearing thin from all of the miles that I have spent searching. The trail may be cold, but it's not quite frozen. But I'll find my way, and I walk each day with my heart wide open. I've been worn down like an old river stone, caught up in the current, tumbled and thrown. My spirit is weak, but it's not quite my heart wide open. I wanna take every breath like it's the last one that I'm gonna get. I want to release every regret. Let go of the pain and forgive. I wanna know what it's like to live with my heart wide open. I've held on too tight, and I've let go too soon. I have built walls clear up to the moon, but here I stand, unguarded and hoping that love calls again, 'cause I'll jump right in with my heart wide open. I wanna take every breath like it's the last one that I'm gonna get. I wanna release every regret and let go of the pain and forgive. I wanna know what it's like to live with my heart wide open. I wanna know what it's like to live with my heart wide open, wide open. It's birthday Sunday. Dale Boyer is